We're doing some work today on putting something special in where these 6 bolts are. That's where the power takeoff is for the original transfer case that's still on this. We're also going to be taking out these 4 bolts and putting in something related to the project and adding a new something or other to the bottom of the transfer case. I will already tell you I'm a little bit apprehensive about what in the heck the height of this bar is doing. Break off, but let's get on to what we're doing in the operating room today. Surgically, I want to showcase a beautiful job of packing from a company known as Romer up in Canada. Look at how nicely this was all put together. Yes, it is time to install the Romer overdrive. So, I will be working on this today. Might be removing the parking brake temporarily or something along those lines, which will elongate my day already, but I will take some videos as I go and show you all how this process is. Alright, so we're ready for surgery here. This is actually kind of cool. We're kind enough to pack a 21mm socket set and the Allens that are needed. On the off chance that I didn't have those, that's obviously helpful. Here's all my goodies on my inventory list of what we're going to be doing today. And we did order the heat plate for the underside of the transfer case. They really recommend that as well if you have done any kind of engine modification. So anyway, and then of course there's some instructions already right out of the gates. What I'm not seeing is any commentary about your lever being in the way or your crossbar being in the way for your parking brake. So I might be dismantling that today to get it out of the way. But ultimately, you know, here's what we're going to be looking like inside the cab. Very straightforward process, instruction for those of you who haven't seen this before. And looks like I'll be doing around 20 steps worth of reading at least, maybe only about 19 steps or so worth of actual work and notes on. Okay, well, we're removing the original fill port because we're going to put in a dipstick assembly into that area. We are draining, not perfectly, I guess. And I realize now what my complication is going to be. When we put this in, I'm sitting about an inch higher or 2 inches higher with my transmission crossbar that's holding up the transfer case and transmission adapter. The whole engine and everything is sitting up maybe about an inch and a half higher than it is in the original assembly. So watch this video first if you're going to do the restoration and put in a RoverDrive so that you will be able to avoid what I'm going to have to do, obviously, to remove the parking brake assembly. And I've got some extra metal stock here, steel stock here today, and I'll just do something to hopefully make the linkage work. But we've made it to step 6 out of 18, and we are going to be installing a new filler bolt here. And I can already tell my conflict. Wish I had 2 hands right now. Hang on a second here. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of which way's up. Sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, we can kind of see what's going to happen here. I've got to remove the retaining nut, or you know what? Let's go read the instructions. Well, the next step was to clean. Oops, sorry. And we got that out of the way, and we can see here now what the issue is. Let me see if I can do this without blocking the light. You know, that's smack dab right in the middle of where the housing is going to try to go for the RoverDrive. So, whereas the next step for a lot of people is to get in there and remove the nut and do some prep work, my next step is going to be to remove the parking brake assembly, and until I get it replaced, park very carefully, right? That's what's coming next. The linkage is now up and resting out of the way. Not bad. Only added about 5 minutes to the install time. 3 months. We'll learn more soon. Graduating from step 7 to step 8. We'll start to get into the guts of this a little bit in a second. A parts coming out, and nice tidy workspace going on in here. Yeah. Then on tonight is progressing us forward quickly. This is the piece that comes out of the actual Romer drive that just came in. Step 8, you take it off. You back out these, I'll get neutral here. You back out those Allen set screws to where they're flush. That removes the pressure off of, you can actually see little indentions there where those were backed up against it. The pressure off of this nut, and this nut is going to go on here. And lo and behold, of course, the sockets that they provided will fit that. So let me get working on that. Get that just a little bit of clarity. The piece that you saw me installing into the transfer case actually is just pull right out of here. For install, they actually, if you have your original engine and you have your engine crank, they obviously can tell you how to get your engine to stop rotating so you can get 110 foot-pounds of torque. In my case, I don't have that, so we just ran up to the pulley there and just stopped it up. And again, 110 pounds. There it is, and that is in. And now we'll move on to the next step. We're 2 hours into the project, and looky there. So what I found to be very helpful was that I took the drain pan, or the drain plate, off the underside of the transfer case, whatever it's called, the cover there, and I could get a much better view of the gears as they were trying to talk to each other and trying to align, rather than trying to get in from the top or anything like that. I took the filler plate off that we installed as part of this kit to be able to see down in, make sure everything's meshing okay, and then I took this off as well. Okay, so my project just got a little more involved than the average guys. Let's see here. It's time for this portion here. And here's what I'm up against. Obviously that L comes off the front. Utilizing those 2 holes right here. And I can show what I'm up against. Huh. Obviously what I'm trying to show here, the lighting to do what I want to do, is I've got to now carve I've got to take the whole transmission tunnel off and try to get that in the place where it's supposed to be, then get the tunnel back on and figure it out from there. So I'm going to lose about 20 minutes or half hour into that. You know, so currently this is facing up, and I need that to face down so that my lever handle will be facing up. But I've got, well, there we go. So I'm inside the flap there. I cut out this little chunk here, and I need to be able to get the rod to come back in here and attach. So technically I'm inside the transmission tunnel area, but I have some more cutting and grinding to do, it looks like. Okay, well, we have got an actuating there's the old name they called it, RoverDrive. So obviously I've got this in to where I'm functional. I am by no means cosmetic yet. Okay, well, the lever's in and the transmission tunnel's in. Just had to make a hole. I made a straight cut out, and it worked out pretty good. Obviously, when I do the fabric cover, we'll probably hopefully just put a hole in it with the supplied mounting skirt and wrap that up. Had to go get some oil and some RTV to install this, and then I'm done. Okay, so quick word to the wise. This notification here about only using GL4 oils, if you care about your warranty and you want to try to follow it, or if you just want to try to challenge the heck out of yourself, go out and try to find just a GL4 oil, one that is not GL4 and GL5. They don't want that. One that you do not listen to your, let's see here, beware the auto shop salesman who claims GL5. Okay, I met 3 of those today. They all are very curious about this. On one sentence, I'm going to have to take a temporary risk. The modern GL3 and GL4 are suitable, but sometimes hard to find. Everything else I find is a blend GL4, GL5. I'm not supposed to use it, I can't use it. Long story short, I'm going to put a GL3 in for a couple of days,
maybe this week, and then I'm going to order what they tell you to order. Do that first. Get it in town, because Napa, AutoZone, and I'm sure if I wanted to keep driving around today and looking, I might find something. But do this before you put your transfer case back together, or before you start this project, so you've got it on hand, and you've got your 3 or 4 liters that you're going to need to complete this. Quick word to the wise, quick tip: definitely do that. This is the interesting part about the last page, which is in bright red, right? So, anywho, let's put this plate on and get this puppy wrapped up. Well, I'm mostly all buttoned up. It's almost started to see the lever. How's that for unexpectedly perfect? Engaged, fully unengaged. Now, I'm not too fond of it being right up against it and possibly scuffing both the lever and that side, so I will probably take this out, put it in the vise, and just bend it forward a couple of degrees and out a couple of degrees, and then it's going to be perfect. Of course, the only thing I haven't done here is I will cut a hole in the exact right location for this to sit back. Haven't done that yet, but I gotta tell you, I'm very impressed with the functionality of it. When on the freeway, I'm not sure if I'm going to add the few minutes of driving to this or not, to the video that I put together. If so, I'll put it at the end of this. You can definitely see it going at 50 miles an hour, going up a grade. You can definitely see the RPMs at 3,000 with the overdrive not engaged, and then when I kick it in, I drop down to 2,000 or 2,200 or so, and that's great. And drove up and down the hills in the neighborhood here, and definitely third gear climbing, very different with the overdrive engaged versus not engaged. I do have a very significant high-pitched whine. To me, it sounds like gears moving very fast together.